why not Chiesa? Maybe Atalanta could be the team to save him. Maybe a restoration project for Gasperini.
I mean, every team is basically trying to get after Chiesa.
I saw Milan too, looking for him. I know Napoli. Inter. It's very rumor heavy now, obviously with Chiesa, but we'll see, man. I don't know.
You know what? It's kind of random, but kind of better for him. You know where you should go? You should go to Spain. I think Chiesa should go to Spain. I think Chiesa would benefit from
vacation.
As Gianni has his hands behind his back.
What do you call him? Nostradamus? Nostradamus, that's it. Here on the Calcio Guys, Gianni, Nicholas, Adreano. That was Gianni just over a week ago predicting where Chiesa could end up, and there's rumors today that he could end up going to Barca, which if you asked me to name 10 teams that he could end up going, I don't think I would have named them. But, maybe I have to ask my cousin Gianni what the lottery tickets are tonight or something. I don't know. Jesus, how you just throw darts at a board and hope it sticks, or you actually predict the future, Gianni?
I mean, some people like to make the joke that a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So I don't know. It's something like a broken Gianni's right twice a season, I guess. I don't know. I am broken. I don't know.
And he is right. So
yeah, no, it's just sometimes you just get these hunches or these feelings, and you got to go with them. I think like when you watch sports enough, you just get those vibes, and you just like ride that train until the end and see what happens. So that's basically what it was. There's just thought came into my head. I'm like, yeah, if he's not going to join a team in Italy, which didn't seem like it was happening, like the logical step for him would be Spain. I don't think he would go to England. I think Spain would be more his thing. And lo and behold, he's about to commit a deal to Barca. So
not official yet. Not official yet.
Yeah, not official. Let's see.
Yeah,
let's see. Maybe we're pumping Gianni's tires and it's not going to happen.
Nah, don't. Come on, please.
We need another clip.
Please pump my tires.
Today, Matchday 1. Before we get into it, just want to give a shout out to our friend Brandon Brini, Bello Brini on Instagram. Hosts a great event this weekend where Panino Pop-Up Shop, Canadian Ferragosto. Adriano and myself had the opportunity to go. Fantastic Panino. So just shout out to him. He was a guest on the podcast before. And if you're in Montreal, check him out, Bello Brini. He says he's going to host these other events in the future. So if you love paninis, go to these other events.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, still salivating from the panini. Hell of a deal. Hell of an event. And like Nick said, one of many for our buddy Brandon Brini, Bello Brini on Instagram. And yeah, just shout out to him, to Piero from Baristello, Corrado Sandwiches for the hosting the event as well. Giving obviously Brandon the opportunity to host his pop-up, and great duo making the paninis in the back, and really everybody that walked in seemed to have a big smile on their face. So if you're in the city, if you're in Montreal, for volume 2, hopefully coming soon for another panini pop-up shop. Follow Bello Brini on Instagram, and for all those latest news.
The Panini had a lot of prosciutto, and this weekend in Serie A, there was a lot of draws. So for each prosciutto that he slapped on, there was a draw in the Serie A. Started 2-2 Genoa, 1-1. Genoa Inter, 1-1 Parma Fiorentina, 2-2 Milan Torino, 0-0 Empoli Monza. So the first 4 games in the Serie A, first 5 actually, if you count Bologna, Udinese that finished, if it finished before Verona, Napoli, were all draws. And I feel like that's typical Serie A. How many times we come on the show like, guys, there's so many draws this weekend in Serie A. But I feel like some of these teams, it was almost a bit rusty from the summer. Obviously short summer for some players after the Euros, and you kind of saw that. Even a team like Napoli coming in with a new coach. I know, Gianni, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game, but this is classic new coach. New coach doesn't come in and fix everything. He's going to have he's going to need time to develop his team. Same thing with Como. We hyped them up. Gianni hyped them up. Everyone hyped them up for all the acquisitions they got. But, you get so many players. They're not used to playing with each other. It's going to be a struggle the first weekend. But at the end of the day, this is the first week. And there's plenty to grow. There's 37 match days left.
Well, exactly. That's what we have to remember. It's just match day one. It's just match day one. Like people are getting all hyped and all excited and blah blah blah. I'm like, guys, it's just one game. There's 37 games left to go. Yes, for a lot of people, it's not what they expected to start off the season. But like, I think what was it? It's Italian meme page. The one that we always send memes to each other from, Nick. I can't remember.
The autogol or Calcio
No,
Brutti?
Yeah, Cacciatori Brutti. Like it's like they start off the meme with Allegri starting the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
With Juve's finishes, right? So now it's the 4th season. Juve starts 3-0, and what's gonna happen with Motta? Like that's what I mean. Like it's so crazy. Like you could have a fantastic start, and then it goes to then you shit the bed. Then you can have teams where they have a crap start, and then all of a sudden they turn it around and they have a great finish. What was the team last year that was outside of the top 10 for just a little bit at the beginning, then worked their way up?
Roma? Atalanta?
I think it was probably Atalanta. I'm thinking more Atalanta. Roma is more like, okay, well, you did your best, and it was more of a disappointment. But Atalanta just pretty much just found it again towards the last half of the season. They were just a phenomenal team. So, and then eventually winning Europa League. So it's just game one. I'm not saying it can't continue this way, or there's going to be no more disappointments going forward, but it's just game one.
Yeah, these are the ebbs and flows of Serie A. We see it every week, every year. It's always the same sort of deal. And again, these things are expected, right? Match day one, like we're saying, I think we're all on the same page on that aspect. Maybe would we have expected a 3-0 loss for Napoli in the opening game? Maybe not. But at the same time, it's growing pains. I know Conte had some mind games before the season kicked off in press conferences in typical Conte fashion. Already people saying he's already complaining. But again, listen, this is like roller coaster Serie A. Like I said, it's bound to happen. And again, on a year where there's an international tournament in the previous summer, guys having limited time to get some time off, some rest, some proper rest, and having to just jump back into training preseason and the start of the new season. These things are expected. So if it could be results not going in the way of you would have thought, to players picking up injuries, we're already seeing some slight injuries for certain players. So like I said, these things are expected, and we're gonna have to just pretty much deal with them in these opening weeks. And again, guys, it's still middle to end of August. The heat in Italy is still at an all-time high, right? These players are not only exhausted from just playing all of last season to whoever was playing in European competitions or international competitions in the summer, coming back to play in the mid to late August. It's not easy. So again, not excuses, and not to say that players shouldn't play up to their potential and all that, but it's a grind. It's 38 weeks, and this is only the first one.
I just looked at it last season after match day one. Fiorentina was in first, so
right now I guess it's Verona. Stop the count. Verona or Lazio.
Atalanta's in first.
Is it Atalanta?
Goal differential.
There you go.
Napoli's in 19th, so really stop the count, please. Let the memes flow. Send them back down to Serie B. But listen, so our teams, Juve won 3-0, Milan 2-2, and then Roma 0-0. That was probably the most, I guess you could say, boring or insignificant game of the weekend. 0-0 is never fun. And obviously we just talked about Verona beat Napoli 3-0, but we'll do our typical roundtable. I might as well start with Juve because it was interesting. Even just the lineup before the game of who started. There were, I'm not going to say I was a bit shocked because the depth right now is not there. They're still, buying guys for the summer. There's so many guys that are locked out of the club right now. Like, obviously we just talked about Chiesa for an example, but someone like, hope I'm saying the name right, Mangula. Not even kidding. I saw the lineup. I didn't know who this player was. I'm not even kidding. I didn't know who this player was. I know there's a lot of youth players that, Juve has. I can't say I follow the youth team. I can't say I follow the next gen team. And I sent it to AJ, and I said, "Who is this guy? Who's this guy starting?" 20 minutes later, he scores, and I'm like, "Damn, maybe I gotta question every single Juve player starting, and then they're gonna go out and score." But for a player like him to come into the team and have an impact, I was really happy with, because I'm guessing he's left winger. I really don't know his full player profile, but if he could come in and basically replace Chiesa on the left side, that's perfect. That's perfect. I don't know if he can maintain that, for a whole season, or even when they play Champions League. I don't know if, let's say, I know with Chiesa, we've talked about him before, how he's gone down, and he definitely wasn't a player that could play a whole season. So at least if this Mangula could play a whole season, even just at an average level, I think it's good, because Juve right now, they're not in a spot to have guys who are often injured. You know what I mean? So I was happy to see him. And then obviously other goals from Weah. I think apparently that was his first goal, if I remember correctly, for Juve. I could be wrong though. And then Cambiaso right at the end. Vlahovic did score, ruled offside. But I think overall, 3-0 win is happy. I'm not gonna lie, it started off a bit rough. I wasn't happy with the start. They look like they're struggling, kind of like their preseason games. But it picked up at the end. I think on the other hand, for Como, you could tell, like I said earlier, they haven't played together. So to come out, in Torino at the Allianz Stadium, against a big team for your first Serie A game in over 20 years for Como, it's tough. And so for them, if they want to stay in Serie A, if they want to finish in the top 10, Gianni, they're gonna have to get points more against teams like Fiorentina, Genoa, even, okay, I'm going to throw in Bologna there. But these games against Juve, Milan, Inter, Napoli, Atalanta, it's a bit harder. But, happy with the result for Juve, but I want to see this, like you guys just said. Juve won 3-0 the past two season openers. Let's see this 3-0 win in week 2, in week 3, and week 4. Let's see a consistency. Pump the brakes a bit on the hype of the team that Mangula is going to win the Ballon d'Or, that Locatelli is revitalized this and that. Let's see. They play Roma in 2 weeks. I think that's gonna be the real test.
I think even just for the kid there, Bangula, whatever the hell his name is there. Not only is it you're talking about him replacing Chiesa. On the pitch, it could be beneficial if he continues at this rate, and then off the pitch as well, in terms of money, in terms of the business, right? Obviously, Chiesa, the whole big thing with Chiesa is that not only was he not in Motta's plans, as he made it very clear, obviously it was another thing to attach to that is the money value of it, the salary that he's demanding and stuff of that nature. So this is a young player. Again, I'm not sure how old he is. I don't even know if he's 20, in his teens, late teens. But just to say, he's coming into an opportunity, and right off the bat, he took advantage of it. Again, I agree with Nick. Is it going to last all 38 games? We don't know. But again, it's something that with these big teams, we don't see a lot of giving the chance to the youths, as we like to say.
Two youths.
So 2 youths.
With 2 what, Mr. Gambini?
my cousin Vinny reference always, but no, it's a good thing to see. I mean, obviously we like to see when it's young Italians getting those chances, but the youth project across Italy for these top clubs is not something that at the Serie A level we see very often. If this kid can get the opportunities, good for him. But I think the bigger thing is the business aspect to it, the money value, and I don't know what he's making per week, but it's definitely nowhere near as to what Chiesa would be making or wanted to be making at Juventus going forward. So I think it's good for business, for Juve as well on that aspect.
It's business, not personal.
It's only business.
Let's go to the other side. Napoli, Verona, 3-0. Again, Gianni, I know you were away this weekend. You were judging Yu-Gi-Oh! In California, so you probably didn't get the opportunity to watch the game, right?
No, I didn't. I only saw highlights. Unfortunately, I was busy working.
Or
and
low
what did
lights.
you make of those?
Low lights.
Low lights. Yeah. What did you make of those mid lights?
Mid lights. Those headlights. Fuck.
Defensive disaster class. That's probably the best way I can I can describe it. Mess in the midfield, mess in the back. It just did not like it. Everyone looks so out of place, all out of work. A lot of those goals shouldn't have happened. Like, a lot of those goals, there's 3 of them. All 3 shouldn't have happened. But what can you do, right? Poor coverage, lack of communication. That's basically what I take away from that game itself. Definitely work needs to be done. So I can't really describe much more from there because, like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Only landed back yesterday at noon, and I was burnt out because red eye flights don't let me sleep apparently. And but from what I saw, it's definitely a forgettable game. Same thing like we talked about last year. I feel like where it's like the start of the season was really rough, and you're like, okay, forget it and move on. But I really don't want to have another repeat of last season this year, especially when you actually have a proper coach. Because now that you have a proper coach, right, it's
no more excuses.
There's no more excuses. Like last year, you had the benefit of, like losing a good coach, and you have to replace him last minute, and you go through multiple coaching changes. Whereas now it's like, well, now you actually have a solid coach. So what can it be now? Can you really argue for the fact of coaching, or is there something else that's going to be going on? So that's what I hope that Conte can do, can help fix this situation with the team.
Yeah, I think it's definitely back to the drawing boards. I think, like, again, like Nick alluded to earlier on in the show, it's all these teams, are just getting back together. Some new faces, some old faces, mesh them all together, and at the beginning of the seasons, you really have to just hope that cohesiveness works off the bat. And there's a dog in the background.
That's my dog for you.
Mine's upstairs. He hasn't barked yet, so if we hear another dog, it might be mine. But we just have to hope that cohesiveness, and that all these players and coaching and ideas, gel from the get-go. And unfortunately, again, match day 1, it wasn't Napoli's day, but I don't think this is going to sum up their whole season, this one game against Verona. But again, chapeau to Verona, right? Mosquera, I think, Nick, it was the guy that we had seen at Cafe Italia when we made our way down to Little Italy in Montreal. Mosquera, I mean, again, a name that, you don't know about, you don't hear about, I think just came onto the scene at the Verona, and hell of a debut. Gets a brace, and is able to help Verona pick up their first 3 points of this Serie A campaign. So chapeau to them. It's who's the coach? Zanetti? Nick, was it Zanetti, right?
Zanetti, yeah.
Right, Zanetti. A manager that's had his ups and downs as of late. Some highs and some really weird lows as well. In this recent past. So to get off the season running at a hot start for him and for Verona is definitely a plus. A team that usually flutters with that right side of the table relegation zones. It's a good start, but again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. The cliche saying goes. So there's a long season to go.
Yeah, you want to talk about an instant impact. Daniel Mosquera and Daylon Livramento each scoring goals in their debuts. These are guys that Verona bought in the summer for undisclosed fees. You can't even find how much they bought them for online. I'm sure that you can find info somewhere, but that's when it's under the radar.
I hope so. That sounds a bit suspicious, but no. Let's hope we can find the fees.
Mosquera coming from America de Cali and Livramento from Maastricht in the Netherlands. So these are transfers that were probably on page 72 of the Gazzetta when they happened, and they come on and have an instant impact with 3 goals for Verona. Moving on, Milan. This was a game that I'm sure stressed you out, Adriano, that Milan had to come back from down 2-0 and ended up tying 2-2, which I was surprised about. I thought, I didn't really watch it, but I was kind of following along the scores online, and I saw it was 2-0 at one point, and then 2-1. I saw 90-something minute, and I figured, okay, they're going to lose 2-1, and then I checked later, it's saying it was 2-2. I was like, holy shit, But Okafor tied it up right at the end. But I don't think this is a game that Fonseca wanted to start with. that Milan fans wanted to start with this new era. So must be frustrating. But again, first game.
Yeah, first game. I think that's kind of the story of this episode for first match day. So let's pump the brakes and kind of ease into this Serie A season. But yeah, listen, not the ideal start that you want. Kind of like Gianni alluded to for Napoli. I mean, the only saving grace for Milan's sake and maybe for Roma's sake is it's 1 point rather than none. Should have been 3, but we'll take the 1, I guess. Yeah, just not the. I mean, the start was interesting because I liked it. It was very clear early on that Fonseca's system is really pushing this attacking football and really everybody coming back on defense and really kind of the unit going forward forward and back is seems to be cohesive, and they had their chances early on and they're really putting on some decent pressure going forward and in the first 20 odd minutes of the game. But all the chances you can have is fine, but you need to be able to capitalize. Milan, I think at the end of the game, watching on Football TV, I think that the graphics showed at the end they had 26 shots.
Fubo.
Shout out Football TV.
Sponsor us, come on.
if you're listening, shout out. But no, I like the graphics this year. I know me and Nick kind of spoke about it over the weekend, but pretty nice graphics that they got going on this season. I think work needs to be done with the coverage, and post game, pre game, all that type of stuff. But the graphic at the end, I'm pretty sure showed 26 shots total and only 6 on target, right? So the opportunities were there. The finishing obviously wasn't until the last 5-6 minutes of the game. So again, not the ideal start. People had already questions when the starting 11 came out. We saw Salmakers, aka Salsicha Maker, at left back over Teo Hernandez. Again, not seeing Teo in the lineup was I know some fans maybe were confused or whatever. Again, a guy who came into preseason late, joined the team later, had a pretty decent run, in the Euros with France. Came to the team late, like I said. So, not seeing him from minute 1 was not what we were really used to, but he came on later, had an impact. Salsicha Maker is not a left back, unfortunately. I don't think listen, I like him that he's dispensing. He can go all over the place. He has many different roles, and he has no problem playing in any role. But I think that experiment, I think we can maybe put it behind us, and unless we're really desperate, maybe put him back there. But going forward, it's nice, but coming back on defense, it shows that those defensive capabilities are not there. The first goal being the own goal, Malik Chow, again, still a rookie mistake. This is, I think, year 3 going with Chow at the back, in and out of the lineup. Rookie mistake, I think, in terms of clearing that ball. Just a mess at the feet. Put it behind the line and try to clear it. It just wasn't the start that we wanted. And then I think, again, going back to the second goal, Calabria not being present on the wing back, crossing in that ball, and Duvan Zapata 9 times out of 10, you leave him open, he's scoring a header from close range, and he goes right between, I think it was Tomori and Teo, or Chow and Teo, whoever it was, right through both of them, and slotted home an easy header. So again, not the start that we wanted, like I said, but I think the finish and the resilience to even come back, because in seasons past, this wouldn't have happened. I think as of late, even under Pioli, we saw some resilience in games where we were kind of out of it. We're able to kind of come back and salvage something. This was the same sort of case in Fonseca's debut match. Morata is the replacement for Giroud. Unfortunately, he'll be probably sidelined maybe for a couple of weeks. That they're reporting potentially 3 weeks. So we'll be without him, according to the reports. But hey, he comes in for his debut after taking off Jovic, who had just a nothing game. and made an impact. We're going to need him when he's healthy and when he's on the pitch. We're going to need him to come up in big moments, and he got his debut goal. And then I think just the super sub of Okafor has been huge, not only just in this game, but in the past. He's come on and produced some big goals at some pretty crucial moments. Or, if it's not a goal, it's an assist, or if it's just, a dribble or what have you, whatever it may be, he seems to be that super sub that can help late in games. And he showed it, over the weekend. Had just hell of a play. But yeah, listen, another thing I just want to shout out, and if anybody's watched this show from the past up until now, you know how I feel about the VAR, how I felt about the VAR. But I think opening weekend, again, I didn't see all the games, so I didn't see all the drama. But in the games that I did watch, or I kind of did pay attention to, the right call seemed to have been made by using the VAR. I don't know if you guys saw that at all, but I saw in the Inter game, the VAR was used properly, and I think even in the Milan game, the VAR was used properly. In terms of offside or no goal line technology that wasn't working, but they went back to VAR, showed it was a goal. So I don't think there was any gray zone so far. This is only match day 1, and again, excuse me if I'm missing something from other games that I probably am. But overall, for Milan, I think it's one game at a time. I always say it, like Stevie P says from Milan Weekly Pod, manage our expectations with Milan week by week. And I think that's going to kind of have to be the overall template of this season, because I predicted Milan, I think third. I don't know if we all have them in the top 4. I believe we all have them in the top 4, but it's going to be a long season, and I think this Fonseca era has its glimpses of positive football, but again, we still need help defensively. We can't leave Magnan out to dry, because again, if it's not up to Magnan making some saves again, this is another story where we don't pick up any points. We go opening weekend 0 points, just a nothing game, and have to go on to the next one against Parma and hope for the best. But we'll take the one and move on. It's kind of the reference of leave the gun, take the cannoli. I don't know. I wanted the 3 points and not just the 1. So it's a bit of a clash on that, but we move. But I think it's still positive, even though there are some negatives. There are some positives still for opening match day for Milan.
Gianni, I don't know if you have anything about Roma 0-0 locality.
It was just more like Roma just like not finishing their chances. Once again, wasn't able to see the game. I'm only like making my predictions from watching highlights and stuff. But it felt like as if it was just more of a game where Roma just couldn't complete things. And when they finally did, the goal was offside. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I'm liking it seems like it fits more than what Napoli's current situation is right now, even though Napoli got more players this offseason. So we'll see further on down the line. I think this 0-0 game is not a cause for alarm. I think it's it's an okay result to accept for now. Hopefully it doesn't continue from here, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about it.